We played better for them, and today we got beat by a better football team, and we got beat by a better football program. So against Clemson, you got to play really well. Those 2 turnovers in the first half that led to touchdowns really put us in a deep hole, and again, they're a really good program. So we know when we play them, there's a small margin of error. I trust that our players will press on. We've got a lot of football left, and it is what it is. So bad day at the office, and we got to get better.
Dave, that switch from Hank to Michael, was that something you had planned? Was it just Hank was playing well enough?
So Hank got hurt last week, and he didn't practice most of this week. And then he had the one hit that he started limping. And at that point, I didn't think it was worth pushing, and I wanted to give a look at Michael. So that was partially injury and partially game situation.
Dave, some of the ways that they moved the ball, do you have a sense of whether that was what they were doing or who it was being done against?
I mean, Connor, you've watched this all year, right? I mean, it's, what we got to do right now to protect our secondary makes it really hard to defend the run. So let's try to keep balls in front of us and not give up posts and go routes. And when you do that, you thin yourself out. Now, having said that, we miss tackles. We're choosing to die the slow death. And, we're just, we didn't have Capone again this week. Jamari was hurt, and then CD got hurt. And, Zamari hasn't played corner in I don't know how long. He's a nickel for us. We had to move him to corner. We moved a receiver to corner. And, we just, we're just really thin there. And so, to put those guys on islands, to play quarters or man coverage and put those guys on island, it's not fair to them. So you got to play a little lighter box, and you try not to let the ball over your head. And then even when you do that, they got us on the trick play, and we kind of gave up a seam route there. But for the most part, we kept the ball in front of us. They're a team that's good enough to continue to drive the ball and score. But that's that's where we are right now.
Dave, looking at a positive, your defense came out really fired up in the first quarter of this game. What did you see out of them in the first quarter that you're hoping to translate?
Well, we made some plays on third down. We got off the field a few times, and it was great. There was a heck of a play made by Horatio, but it was kind of a little bit of a wake up for them. So, we're up 7-0, and then again, those 2 turnovers were daggers because it was on their side of the field and it was at midfield, and we gave them short fields. And like I said, the part of the game plan with them is try to make them drive at 80 yards and try to make them do it in 15 plays, and hopefully you get them off schedule or you get a turnover. But we didn't turn them over at all. They turned us over twice. And again, they're a good football team, and that's a game that we had to play really well, and we didn't play really well.
How difficult is it to get the turnaround from a game like this and get the team refocused for next week in Connecticut? I
mean, it's football, Les. We had a huge win last week, and we had to get them refocused for this game. And every week's its own season. So I'm not too concerned about that. I think again, the execution level, all that, our guys play hard. Even at the end, there's no quitting them. They play really hard. So I have no issues with the effort. We ran into a really good football team today, and we were, not up for the challenge across the board.
From a macro perspective, when you look at the shortage at corner, I know you had the 2 departures in the secondary during the offseason to the NFL. You had the late transfer out of the portal. Is there like a macro level where something's gone awry to where you don't have enough to kind of backfill and get some guys developed?
Again, when you report this answer, please context it with the question.
Okay.
Okay? So it is really difficult to fix those problems without money. So, you know, we got some guys that would give us depth. You know, there was a lot of players that we tried to recruit, that we wanted, that we couldn't afford. And we knew going into the season, I said, you know, when we lost those 3 guys, we knew those were 3 big losses. And again, I didn't think we could keep both of the guys in the back end. My hope was that we could keep one of them, and I really believe if you keep one, then the other kid stays. And it's a hard hole to fill in the summer, you know? So, you know, we went into the year knowing that that was a concern. And, you know, if you break us down, we're pretty good at a lot of other spots. But, you know, this isn't basketball that you can have, you can't run a 3-guard offense, right? We can't tell teams that they've got to play with 2 tight ends and a fullback, therefore we can play with one. What we are is on film, and people are attacking us accordingly. And we've got to take the players we have and make them better. That's our job as coaches. You know, but it's really, you know, this has become a payroll sport. It is. And, you know, we were in that position. We were just, those losses were hard. And again, it happened months ago. I understand that it's my job to fix it. I accept responsibility for that. But there's a reality to this in college football in 2024, that you have to have a certain level of funding to fix those problems.
As a follow-up to that, and I'm certainly not expecting you to call out player A or player B, but were there perhaps some recruiting misses at the high school level in previous years that led to not having?
If you look at our recruiting rankings, like the last few years, when you're unable to pay high school kids, it's been hard to recruit at the same level because we're one of the few schools that can't pay high school kids. And so how many kids have we had committed to us in the last 2 years that we've lost over NIL?
More than the previous 9 combined, probably.
Yeah, I mean, like people are able to pay freshmen more than we can pay starters. And that's real. We've lost, even in recruiting battles, I can't tell you how many guys. And so what happens is that you're not able to recruit ready-made guys. We have some young corners in our program that we will try to develop the Wake Forest way. And I hope in 2 and 3 years those guys are ready, but you're not going to get ready-made guys out of high school for free. And so, you know, I don't think there's mistakes. Travion West was starting to play well. You know, he had put in his time, and he was about to be a good player, and then he broke his leg. So we were starting to feel good about him. So, you know, Capone is out. I mean, we've been a little unfortunate there too, but there's no question that the last 2 years, because of the way college football has changed, you know, that it's impacted our recruiting as well. You know that, right? That's what you do. You follow that stuff.
Dave, if I could ask a pretty blunt question. You just said it's also your guys' job to coach them up and make them better. How do you grade your staff in terms of what you've done in coaching them up?
Well, you know, we're 2 and 4 right now, Tony. So there's not grades, there's a record. So we're 2 and 4. So right now, I'm a 2 and 4 head coach this year. Our assistant coaches are 2 and 4 assistant coaches. And our football program's a 2 and 4 football team. And, you know, at the end of the day, we have to get those guys ready to play at a high level, and that's our job. But, you know, there's also a lot that goes into it.
2 more guys.
Dave, you said Hank was hurt last week. How
Hank?
healthy would you say he was coming in today?
I mean, he was hurt last week. He didn't practice Monday and Tuesday. He did a little bit Wednesday, a little bit Thursday. He wanted to go, and then he had that one play that he started limping, and I just said, he's not healthy. Let's not, you know, and we weren't blocking him real well. And so to me, it wasn't worth continuing to risk it. And Michael Kern's a really good athlete. You know, and I thought he could go in there and make some plays with his feet.
Dave, Michael Froge gets in there, has his first catch for a touchdown.
Yeah, it was great.
What's the feeling on him, and what's going on with Perry
Well,
Lodge and
we've
Cam
been
Height?
really excited about Michael Froge, and he's finally healthy, and we should get Cam Height and Harry Lodge back next week. And then I'm excited. We'll have 3 tight ends that we felt really good about healthy for the first time all year. And a lot of the things we did on offense last week against NC State, with a lot of the 2 tight end stuff, we were hoping to do more of that. And all of a sudden, your 2 tight ends are out. It kind of limited some of the things we did a week ago we were hoping to build on. But we should have those guys back next week, and hopefully we'll have 3 playable tight ends, and that will help us a lot. It'll allow us to be a little bit more versatile and hopefully run the ball a little bit better.
One more, guys.
Coach, margin of error is slim when you're playing Clemson under any condition. They're on a roll. They came in here, you were close for a moment, and then they just took off. What factors played into that?
Well, like I said, we were, to me, there's certain teams you play that, they're really talented teams. To me, Ole Miss, to me, NC State is a really talented team. Clemson, and we'll play some more as we go down the line here. The key in all these games is staying in it and not beating yourself. And there's a saying, and we had a coach say it last night to our team, that mistakes get you beat as often as mismatches. And when you make a mistake and turn the ball over on that side of the field, it's then over hard to come that with the mismatches too. So again, you play them. It is a small margin of error, and they are a really good football team. So yeah, we knew anytime we play Clemson, we know we got to play clean. And 2 years ago, a year ago, there probably wasn't the discrepancy there was today. And not that we played those games perfect, but we were able to get those games into the fourth quarter as 1-score games. And today we weren't able to do that.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks.